Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah. A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to Honest J. Nowak. So for you video game fanatics out there, you'll be happy to know that I'm going to be bringing in a certain franchise that we've had for more than 25 years. It'll be known as Tomb Raider. If you're not familiar with the franchise itself, it basically stars a character known as Lara Croft. And of course, the game itself is mostly focused on the action, adventure, 3D platforming, and lots of shootouts, as well as some drama and humor taking place. Of course, across the board with the many PlayStation consoles that it has been established in, it happened to find itself a pretty good way into the outside world, aside from it being just a video game. There were magazines, television commercials, and a lot more, spanning off from the success of the franchise itself. Core design, though, probably wasn't so lucky. The franchise itself did absolutely well throughout the many years it had been through. But of course, there had to be a dark age. Angel of Darkness. A game released sometime before a second Angelina Jolie Tomb Raider movie, known as The Cradle of Life, had been released in 2003. But of course, many people out there are not very familiar with the game itself, but that's only because it's a rare, obscure title out there that even James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, has managed to cover up on. And the reason for that being was because of how horrible it was. The many things that it tried to do at the same time that it managed itself 3D platforming in the same way as the other games were, it basically had a Clue-inspired opening where an associate of Lara Croft ends up getting shot to death by someone off screen, to the many other things, including some random slow motion, as well as some horrible jumping, which in no way is like the PlayStation 1 variant of Tomb Raider games, and not to mention, there were many others along the way. Lots of them. But in a way, even after Angel of Darkness had come and gone, and Cradle of Life managed to not do so well in the box office compared to its predecessor from 2001, I'd say the franchise itself has made itself a slow, steady recovery. But of course, that'd be like me telling you that Kaiju Force Neo has also gone through a few dark times, especially from 2010 to 2019. Because it was around those times that, even though the fame around my business itself started to grow exponentially, especially with the pile-up on followers on my first Twitter account at the time, which had been made in August of 2006, and of course, if you don't remember from this past December in 2019, it had been deactivated. After 13 years and 4 months of being around, it had been put out of its misery, just for the fact that Twitter, the corporation itself, was not willing to go down without a fight. A very, very painful one, too. So, of course, it's a sacrifice that I'll never forget. A sacrifice that hopes to stay burned in my memory for life. And even more so, carrying on after the many events that took place there, Tomb Raider, of course, has managed to recover after more than a decade of, well, Angel of Darkness being this extreme failure of them all. And in the same way as Kaiju Force Neo has had a few extreme failures, including, well, a failed series of videos that had ultimately caused my channel to almost be completely wiped out. And this is not a joke. So, at this point, I don't really know much else that I would want to say at this point, but it's still worth noting that many events have taken place. I see a lot of resemblance to Tomb Raider, paralleling to the kind of stuff that I've endured with my business itself. There were lots of good times, then in between the good times then and the good times now are the bad times that tend to struggle around together and just clobber each other out. But of course, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel of blood shed and lots more. So, I mean, I've got kind of a long episode going on here, but that's only because there's certainly been a lot of other times out there that I probably will endure a lot more dark times, but still, they're probably not coming for a while. But of course, Tomb Raider or not, I see tons of things happening to that franchise in the same way that I'm also going to be seeing a lot of things happening to Kaiju Force Neo. But right now, if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.